Om Shanti. Baba's Sakar Murli, 22nd of July 2022. Essence. Sweet children, you must now become free from the bondages of sorrow and enter into relationships of happiness. Therefore, settle all your old karmic accounts of old karmic bondages. Question. What is your unlimited boxing on this battlefield? What is the basis of your victory in this boxing? Answer. You children have unlimited boxing with Maya Ravan. This is also called wrestling. In order to become victorious in this boxing, let it remain in your intellects that you have gained victory every cycle. In order to conquer Maya Ravan, donate the 5 evil spirits. After giving them in donation, never take them back. If you make a donation and then take it back, if you become influenced by lust or anger, then all the other evil spirits will also begin to harass you. Song. When I found you, I found the whole world. Om Shanti. This record is about someone who has become free from bondage and formed a relationship. At this time, there is the bondage of Maya. That is called a devilish bondage. You are now in a godly relationship. There is sorrow in a bondage and happiness in a relationship. This is why it is said, cut the bondages of sorrow and take us into relationships of happiness. This is the call of the devotees on the path of devotion. Devotees are those who remember God, but not a single devotee in the world knows God. This is why the path of devotion has continued for half the cycle. Sages too make spiritual endeavour. They pray in order to meet God. There is just the one God. You receive the inheritance from Him. You have already received inheritances from your limited fathers. Nevertheless, you remember the unlimited Father, because there is sorrow in a limited inheritance, whereas there is happiness in the unlimited inheritance. Only you know this. The Father is personally sitting in front of you in order to cut your bondages. He is remembered as the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness. You wouldn't say, remover of sorrow and bestower of peace. If everyone were to go into peace, the world would no longer exist. This is why he is called the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness. He gives everyone happiness. They attain liberation in order to receive liberation in life. If they simply speak of liberation, that would be like having eternal liberation. With liberation, there is also liberation in life. Liberation in life is relationships of happiness when souls are sato-pradhan. You have come here to become free from the bondages of sorrow. On the other hand, you are being connected to relationships of happiness. You have to settle your karmic accounts of karmic bondages. There is no sorrow in the new world. First of all, there are the relationships of happiness, and then the bondages of sorrow begin. There is both happiness and sorrow in the play. You experience a lot of happiness, and then also a lot of sorrow. Other people experience a little happiness, and so they also experience a little sorrow. The parrot that was heaven and solvent has now become hell and insolvent. It was the newest of all, and it is now the oldest of all. It has seen a lot of sorrow. Even now there is a lot of sorrow. People call out to the Father for him to liberate them from that sorrow. He is also called the Beloved. Those people call out to limited beloveds. You now understand that they have sorrow, for this is why they call out. You are now making effort, according to Srimad, in order to go to the land of happiness. The Father says, I come every 5,000 years. Your intellects are now full of all the knowledge. You know the beginning to the end, and so you are knowers of the three aspects of time. You know all three worlds. We souls reside in the incorporeal world, in silence. Originally, we are residents of the land beyond sound, brackets nirvana, and then we go into the household religion and we play our parts through these organs. You play your parts of happiness and sorrow from the beginning to the end. You are all-rounders. Only you take 84 births. You have now been enlightened as to why there cannot be 8.4 million births. Human beings take 84 births. However, there are very many varieties of other species. There is no one to count them. They simply guess how many. You now know who takes 84 births and how they take them. Sikhs, Arya Samajis and Buddhists cannot take 84 births. You know the Father, and this is why you ask them, who is the God of the Gita? Is it the ocean of knowledge, the purifier, heavenly God the Father, or the one who is full of all virtues, the first Prince of Heaven, Sri Krishna? This riddle is very easy. Therefore, in order for it to sit in people's intellects, Baba is having such riddles printed. So, judge, who is the God of the Gita? Heavenly God, the Father, is the one who establishes heaven. It takes so much time to purify the impure. The main thing is to remain pure. You have to connect your intellects to the One. You mustn't leave your homes and families. It is limited renunciates who renounce them. Your renunciation is unlimited. They still continue to live in the old world. You have to forget the whole world. We have to go from the limited into the unlimited. That is the land of peace. There is peace and only peace. Limited and unlimited happiness exists here. You have to go beyond the limited and the unlimited. The land of peace is the home of us souls. Souls don't play any parts there. Souls don't have organs there. Then, according to the drama, your parts in the Golden Age emerge. Whatever parts you have played, you play those same parts every cycle. No one apart from you can say these things. You know about the relationships of happiness and the bondages of sorrow. You have to stay in impure relationships because you aren't able to stay in godly relationships at this time. Where would so many of you stay? It would then become the same as the sannyasis. How could you bring your families here? The number of children continues to grow. At first, it was a small house. There was just 3 square feet of land. You used to come here to a small cottage. It was just like Baba says, open a Gita Patshala in your home. It was just like that. People ask, how did it begin? Baba tells you, this is how it started. We first bought 3 feet of land, and then we bought a bigger house. Many children had come by then. A furnace was created. We also had motor cars and buses. This is why Baba tells you, children, to take 3 feet of land and open a patshala. Later, you will become the masters of the world. It is said that God is the master of the world. However, you know that this earth is called the world. The Father doesn't become the master of this. The Father comes here to serve the whole universe when it is unhappy. This is God's university, and it is for the whole universe. It is also a college. Everyone receives salvation. People also become degraded. They don't become degraded in the subtle region or in the incorporeal world. This is why the whole universe benefits through this university. These things are not mentioned in the scriptures. He says, I have to come to grant everyone liberation and salvation. How else would you become pure? Ravan is also very powerful. You come to me, and Ravan then pulls you to him. Maya too is very powerful. Maya takes you into sorrow. This is a game. In a boxing match, both are very powerful. You have victory for half a cycle and defeat for half a cycle. This is unlimited boxing. This is called a battlefield. Here you have to conquer Maya Ravan. You gained victory in the previous cycle too. You can see who are emerging now. Some say, Baba, I got angry. Ah, but that is an evil spirit. If you take it back after donating it, it will harass you a great deal. You have donated the 5 vices, you have to renounce them. However, to leave your home and family and run away is cowardice. The Father explains. You have been choking for 63 births. Now, remain pure for 1 birth. There is a lot of income in this. There is a huge attainment. Your enemy is standing in front of you. There is a wrestling match going on. In the scriptures, they have shown a wrestling match between Kans and Krishna. That refers to Maya Ravan. The Krishna soul is now in his last birth. This soul battles with Maya and then becomes Krishna. You now have to become sensible. Previously, Bharat was the crown. Look at the court of the Sun dynasty. There were so many palaces studded with diamonds and jewels. There are courts here too. The princes all meet together and they sit number-wise. Just use your intellects and see how they would meet one another there and what their court would be like. At night, you wouldn't see any light bulbs, but there would be light everywhere. Science is useful. It doesn't disappear completely. You become instruments to make Bharat into heaven. You open the gates to heaven. That one is Shankaracharya, and this one is Shivacharya, brackets Shiva the teacher. The Father says, I speak knowledge. You heard the song. When I found you, I found the whole world. There is no one higher than he is. All your desires are fulfilled in heaven. You receive all happiness there. Earlier, telephones, electricity, motor cars, etc. didn't exist. It is only recently that they have been invented. Science is very useful there. Even now they construct buildings abroad in 7 days and hand them over to you. The intellects of the people here are Tamopradhan. People abroad would be considered to be Rajopradhan compared to those here. You children know all of this. The world has to change, and this is why there is to be this Mahabharat war. Your intellects have now opened. Look how you are standing on the battlefield and how Maya opposes you. The Father says, have complete yoga. You too are residents of the land beyond sound, brackets nirvana. As is Baba, so are you. The Father is giving you the kingdom of the world. However, he keeps the key to divine vision with himself. He says, this is for my use. I have to please those on the path of devotion. I don't give it to anyone. I give you the sovereignty of the world. Is this a small thing? The key to divine vision is not a small thing either. Look what the play is like. Those who understand it very well remain happy inside. The birth of Krishna, brackets Janamastami, has also been explained to you. It is the birthday of Krishna, but it is the birthday of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, that is remembered. People celebrate the birthday of Krishna first. What happened to Shiv Jayanti? Only when there is first the birth of Shiv can there be the birth of Krishna. After Shiv Jayanti, there is Krishna Jayanti. Shiv Baba makes Bharat into heaven. He says, I come at the confluence of the cycles and teach you Raja Yoga. Only when the Mahabharat war takes place can there be destruction of hell and establishment of heaven. Shiv Baba establishes the Shiva temple and Ravan creates the brothel. No one knows about the one from whom Krishna attained his status. In fact, Shiva's birthday is the main thing. Human beings continue to take birth anyway. The worthy of worship deities then become worshippers. You have all the secrets in your intellects, but that too is number-wise according to your efforts. Baba explains to you and you then explain to others. You should also explain to the principals, etc. The history and geography that is taught in schools is incomplete knowledge. The secrets of the incorporeal world, the subtle region, and the corporeal world should all be explained. They don't know this. However, they have caught hold of the history and geography of the British and the Muslims, etc. Only the Father explains the unlimited history and geography. We are changing from human beings into deities. Come, and we will explain to you how you can become princes and princesses of heaven. You have to become princes and princesses of heaven. How did they receive this inheritance? How was the Sun dynasty established? If you don't have this knowledge, how can you be a philosopher? You have to have the right method in order to explain to others. What type of judgment is this? Dharamraj Baba is completely accurate. There is no one above him. Here, there is one above the other. There is only one true Dharamraj. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long-lost and now-found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. Essence for Dana. 1. Take your intellect beyond the limited and the unlimited to your land of silence. In order to become free from bondages of sorrow, stay in godly relationships. 2. In order to serve the whole world, open a spiritual university on 3 feet of land. Study and teach others the unlimited history and geography. Blessing. May you burn away all weaknesses with tapasya and claim a right to the first number kingdom. In order to claim a right to the first kingdom with the first number souls in the first birth, burn with tapasya all weaknesses in the fire of yoga. To stabilize the mind and intellect means to stay in one thought and to pass fully. If your mind and intellect get even slightly disturbed, then stabilize them with determination. Finishing your waste thoughts will bring you close to perfection. Slogan. Do not count on the time, brackets rely on, but look at the virtues of the Father and yourself and become complete. Om Shanti.